So I have always loved flowers, from growing up with flowers to helping my mum and my gran with wedding flowers, arranging for friends. I've done it my whole life. And an opportunity came. I was doing my cousin's wedding in Cape Town, and I came across a flower farmer in the Cape called Adine's Farm Flowers, and I was just blown away by the variety and the quality, and just all her flowers were just exquisite. And I thought to myself, geez, I don't see these in KZN. And so I started digging a little bit deeper. And I then decided that there was a gap in the market to try and get her flowers, or those varieties, to KZN and to supply to other florists, so not actually to the public, to wholesale them. And I then met with Adine that following year in 2019 in Cape Town in the June. And she was going to supply me, and I was going to have to find a venue, and it was all getting a bit daunting. And I really handed it over to God, because I know there were a few things. I said, if I'm going to do this, I don't want to be tied down to a shop with a huge rental, having to be open 7 days a week, because the way I was wanting to do it, I would only open for a few days a week. I wanted something to be close to home, because I was still working my normal job, doing puppet shows in the schools with my mum. So this was going to be a sideline. And I thought the most ideal spot would be the mushroom farm, because it's close to home and also on the M13. So ideal for people needing to come and collect flowers. And I approached them, and it was amazing, because I spoke to the landlord, the owner, and he said to me straight away, well, do you need a cold room? And I was like, yes, that's the one and only thing that I need. And he said, well, I've got one, I just need to put it up for you, but I can only put it up at the back where the container yard is. So I said, no, that's fine, because I actually don't want a retail space. And then he went on to say, well, if you're in the container yard, you can open any day, any time, you can do your own thing. So it was amazing how it all just fell into place. I was almost ready to go, but I didn't have a name for my business. And then I was sitting at the Flourish Women's Conference, and it just came to me that Flourish is the name I need to call my business. And it hasn't stopped flourishing from there. And it was amazing. I left here with a spring in my step, and so excited for this new venture. So I opened in October at the mushroom farm, only 3 days a week. And it was really starting to take momentum and get going, and it was going into the busy December wedding season, and then a lot of orders booked for the April, May the next year, when COVID hit. So when COVID hit, we had to decide, the shop wasn't open, and we thought, well, how am I going to pay my rent? As lovely as the landlord was, I thought, I'm also not bringing any income in at all. So, what can we do? And a friend of mine who lived in the same estate as me also had storage space at the mushroom farm, and was also actually in the wedding industry, hiring out stuff. And together we decided, well, there's an empty shop at the mushroom farm. Maybe we can set up a pop-up shop, and I can sell flowers like a florist, and all markets are closed, and maybe we can be an outlet for others to sell their items, and we can take a commission on the sales and see how it could work. So we approached the landlords at the mushroom farm, and they were like, great idea, and completely on board. And within 6 weeks we opened Spence and May Brand Hub, and we honestly thought it would be a 6-month project, and we would go through to December, and then by then surely weddings will be up and running and we will all be back to normal. But obviously that was not the case. But it's amazing, because it just was a stepping stone, and Flourish then changed from being a wholesaler to being more of a florist store, and also like a market style vibe, I would say. And it's just, it's been amazing. We are going on, we've now been at Spence and May. In August it will be 3 years. So as much as I was loving the flowers, I had also in the meantime opened Le Petit Playhouse, which was a business with my mum. And in fact, I would never have taken that step if I had never opened Flourish and taken that first risk of signing a lease and paying a monthly rental. But I'd had this idea to do this children's role play village with my mum, and we just thought, well, if we don't do it now, we never will. And we took that leap of faith and we did it. But then I was juggling too much and I knew something had to give, and I felt my season with Flourish that I couldn't give it the time that it needed and deserved without doing the weddings, and I didn't have the capacity to do weddings and functions. So I decided that something had to give. And it's amazing because once again I felt God was in the situation where the right person just came along through a conversation, and next minute within the week I had sold Flourish, and the timing couldn't have been better because it was about to go into our peak season at the Playhouse just before the school holidays. And yeah, it was just a season of growth and a season of learning for me in particular about business. I put myself on a business course for a year because I'd never had any business experience or didn't know anything about it, but it was a season for me personally to grow and to develop my skills and flourish, I suppose.